Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here for wearechange.org. It's the Daily Drop, and today we're going to talk about some stories that may not be as big in the mainstream. We're not talking Donald Trump Jr.'s divorce, because who gives a flying rat's ass? I don't. Doesn't make a bit of difference to me. Doesn't really affect the economy, our foreign or domestic policy. Really is a huge nothing burger, if you will. But that's what the media cycle is going to be about today. That and, a little bit of news as Trump continues to fire people within his administration. And now McMaster's is also on the table, another establishment politician. So as that whole cluster funk, if you will, keeps going on, we've got some other stuff to talk about. And I want to talk about a man who's making a big comeback these days. He's back from the dead, apparently, and this is all due to technology. And it's JFK. John F. Kennedy Jr.'s last speech, the one that he was supposed to give in Dallas before a third of his head was blown off of his body, is now actually been recreated digitally from, obviously, the speech's text and a technology that we've been following here at We Are Change for some time now. And I believe I did a video over the summer called Hear No Evil, See No Evil, where we talked about these audio algorithms. And of course, the more audio you have of somebody, the easier it is to reproduce their voice in a lifelike manner. And to the point where you really even can't tell it's digital if there's enough information out there. So if somebody like myself, who's been broadcasting on and off for about a decade, maybe more now, there's plenty of my voice out there publicly. In fact, the majority of you have your voice recorded without you knowing it anyway, because you have a smartphone in your pocket and you sit and you don't realize what you're doing on the internet, and you've given all these permissions to companies to basically record you in your home. This is smart TVs as well. We've discussed this ad nauseum. So really, it's going to become harder and harder, and already is, to define what is real. Now, right now, this is just audio of the president. But give it another 5 years, because the video technology is already there as well. Give it another 5 years, and that speech will be given in Dallas on video that looks authentic if somebody wants to put the time in. And really, how much time are they going to have to put in? We've already seen AI in real time on a camera driving down a road, creating whatever time of day, whatever weather in real time against those pictures. And it is indiscernible. Indiscernible. Please give it a look yourself. This is just the latest in that type of technology. We've seen them do it with Barack Obama. We've seen them do it with Vladimir Putin. We've seen them do it with George W. Bush. And these are just a small sample set of what is out there. And as this technology, again, gets into the public's hands, well, you're only going to see more of it, just like you're seeing more and more deep fakes, a.k.a. artificially intelligent made videos of people that aren't really there. And get ready for the digital personas, too. They're on their way as well. And as we're talking digital, we're going to be talking DARPA. DARPA is now funding time crystal research. And I know this sounds like an episode of Rick and Morty. And especially in the last 5 years, about the time that show has been around, really, we have heard so much about quantum physics and the future of quantum mechanics that is going to bring us artificial intelligence and tackle problems that literally would have taken us generations upon generations upon generations to solve in only moments. That's the promise of quantum computing. Whether or not we get there, I don't know. I am not a scientist, and this one is just so bizarre. They are basically saying that these masses move not in a physical field, but by time. I gotta tell you, I read these articles, and I am still kind of dumbfounded as to what time crystals really are. I've learned a little bit more about quantum computing over the last 6 to 7 months. And just last month, 3 weeks ago, very underreported, something we covered here at We Are Change. Most quantum memory is there and gone in a millisecond, in a millisecond. We're talking about fractions of a second. And that's what is really the challenge with using quantum mechanics to solve issues, is that anytime you try to observe this quantum state, it seems to go away. And what is a quantum state? Well, regular bits are zeros and ones that make up binary code. A qubit is a 0 and a 1 simultaneously, and then sometimes creates what is known as a quantum entanglement. It only gets more confusing from there. But these quantum states, again, were only micro measured, and then 3 weeks ago, scientists found a way to store them for hours in deformed diamonds. I believe artificially created deformed diamonds that had anomalies, and within these anomalies, this quantum state was saved. It's mind-blowing stuff. Whether or not this stuff is ever going to hit the public, what its implications for are globally, where we are, what we know as a civilization, as humanity, I have no idea. And I am not anti-technology, folks. I think that this stuff, we've got to look at it. We've got to see what's going on. It heavily intertwines with larger quantum computers that use, I believe it's called quantum annealing, not a scalable quantum computer, of the D-wave systems that are out there that I'm learning more and more about daily. Those have a 1 and 2,000 qubit machine. But again, that's quantum annealing. And a lot of people will tell you that's not a true quantum computer. Obviously, D-Wave would disagree. Now, you've got IBM, you've got Microsoft, you've got all these different companies, you've got major institutions in Russia all competing to bring you the first quote-unquote scalable quantum computer. And I believe they have 50 qubit quantum computers, maybe even 62 might be the max, but there haven't been huge jumps in the scalable market. With DARPA, by the way, who was involved with D-Wave, with Lockheed Martin, with Jeff Bezos of Amazon, with Goldman Sachs in these programs, who knows how it will be used, what they will find, but you can be very, very certain it's military, so they will try to weaponize it. But let's talk about some other technologies that are only getting better and more useful and really being used to empower humanity. That's what we want, right? Technology is a double-edged sword. It can be used to enslave humanity or empower them. And 3D printing has been around for some time, and so have 3D printed cars. In fact, I remember back in the day when I was working over at InfoWars, I did a broadcast where we talked extensively about the Irby, one of the very first 3D printed cars. And this car right here actually looks very, very similar to the Irby. It doesn't look that much different. However, the process has now been made in such a structure that this car costs about $10,000 commercially. You're going to see, and it's an electric car. It's small. It's not something I would put myself in. It doesn't feel like it would be drivable to me. But the progress on this technology is absolutely massive, and its implications are huge. And we're not just talking about cars anymore, because the best thing about this is that 3D printers are no longer just using a type of material that is only used in 3D printers. In other words, proprietary. No, they're using now things like concrete. And there are companies out there that are building homes for around $10,000. The land is going to cost you more. It's a pretty amazing process with concrete, with traditional building materials. And all I can say is finally. Now, what's this going to mean for the construction industry? Obviously, the construction industry is going to continue to lose manual laborers again and again and again, and bring on more engineers and more technologically savvy people. That's just a fact. Does that mean that carpentry has gone by the wayside, that construction workers are going to become 100% obsolete? No way. It's a big world out there. Technology takes a long time to be implemented, but it does mean that, yes, that industry has hit its peak and it will be going down. Now, you may want to learn how to service these things. I'm sure they're not going to be perfect, especially in its first iterations, but it is astounding that this house, this whole house, was printed in 24 hours and at a cost of, less than a decent used car. about 10 grand. I mean, that's huge right now. So again, well, people are obsessing over, things that don't really matter, celebrity culture, Kim Kardashian talking about Kanye memes. We at We Are Change are concerned with what's really going on, and we're not always going to bring you the doom and gloom news that's out there. Although, again, we'll be the first ones to talk about real issues that have real consequences for us, especially when the media is spinning it one way or the other. But we also want to let you know that there is hope out there, that humanity is pushing forward, and not everything is negative. And some of these things that are extremely positive don't get enough play in the mainstream either. And that's why we need your support. We need your help more than ever. This video here that's being broadcast live on Facebook will go over to the backup We Are Change channel, which right now is Pulse Change, or youtube.com/Luke We Are Change. We need you to subscribe over there. And then we need you to go to the main channel. We need you to like and subscribe over there. And please share our videos. YouTube is now not only demonetizing us, but making us less and less visible to the over 500,000 subscribers that we have out there. So again, it is imperative for you to get engaged and be the change you want to see in the world. And as I discussed in a video on the main page, we're going to give you more and more of an opportunity to do that in the coming weeks and months, taking user submissions for video content, article content, and even graphic and meme content, original meme content, of course. And you can have that stuff displayed on the website, on the backup page, maybe even on the main page. There will be giveaways, there will be prizes. We're trying to build a social network of citizen journalists that really are going to take hold of their own lives and the lives around them to try and make the world a better place. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. It is the Daily Drop. We'll see you again tomorrow at noon. Thanks again.